Oshkosh Defense showcased its Rogue Fires Unmanned Joint Light Tactical Vehicle at AUSA 24, blending high mobility with cutting-edge autonomy. Now, the Rogue Fire system can handle everything from launching rockets to hauling supplies as an autonomous logistics vehicle. I mean, there's been a lot of work in this sector, I guess, recently, but each vehicle featuring a swappable payload modules, missile launchers, cargo beds, artillery setups, all interchangeable on the same chassis. The updated leader-follower system lets one operator control multiple vehicles, complete with waypoint navigation, advanced obstacle avoidance, and then, of course, while the Marines are using it for shoot-and-scoot operations with long-range missiles, the Army is looking at it for resupply missions in contested zones. 6,000-pound payload capacity designed to resupply troops at the forward edge of battle without risking human drivers.
All right, I'm just gonna jump on. I'm gonna jump on the truck here because robot trucks driving around with missiles strapped to their backs. I mean, that's not a thing in Nightmares at all, right?
Better than the Toyota Hilux.
Yeah,
well,
that's
that
true.
one was being driven with people drivers still. This is
without training,
this, right? You know, so this is just the computers driving around. This is a thing of nightmares or of dreams, or just the sci-fi world. But one interesting bit of this evolution is that the Marine Corps actually entered into a low-rate initial production deal with Oshkosh in 2023 that permitted them to produce some of these unmanned Rogue Fires on the same production line as their traditional family of vehicles. From a manufacturing side of point, that's pretty cool from that line, because that would be both a cost saving, but also a logistically challenging effort. And building on what we just talked about with the software updates in these previous articles earlier, the Rogue Fires is undergoing an update right now to improve their autonomy with that leader-follower control system Greg was talking about. And the system is going to basically, allow for the operation of many of these with just one Marine in control, which is pretty cool about what's going on there. This update is going to have the waypoint navigation for the Rogue Fires family. The most important area, I think, is future-proofing and upgrades through the software updates. There's a lot of interest and focus on the weapons capabilities, figuring out how that integrates with routing and software, autonomous tasks, the safety involved. We're not just talking about, one of those Waymo autonomous things driving around here.
Greg, are you on fire?
I might be. Yeah. Do I need to make sure? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It feels
Somebody should tell you.
It feels good.
So Brian, what is your number one? What is it exactly? It's future proofing for upgrades, is it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the key, because the software is what's going to let you make sure these things, being able to take software upgrades, is going to be able to what makes this very effective when new and interesting situations pop up, new functionality is needed, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. For me, it's a little bit before that. I think it's the idea of autonomous battlefield logistics. It's one thing having, your autonomous vehicles on your highways, which everybody's getting spooked over anyway. It's another navigating congested zones, avoiding enemy fire, and making it to the last mile delivery stuff that I know you were talking about, Greg. So there's that ain't really an Uber ride, is it? So let's face it, if these things get stuck in the mud, I doubt you say, "Hey Siri, can you get me out of here?"
I think that they're designing these to be able to handle.
She probably doesn't even know who you
to be able
are,
to handle
Siri.
being stuck in the mud, all those issues. Not Siri, but just the software integration here, because this is a software challenge. Even though we're talking about the hardware that's going to be doing the job, let's face it, driving around is something that has been happening for years. Having a computer do that for you, that's the new thing. Having software requirements figured out of what this has to do, what's going to need to happen to make this software function correctly with now and future, that's what's going to drive this entire project to success.
I get it. But imagine being the Marine responsible for the waypoint navigation, who's now also expected to dodge missiles. Forget forget sci-fi. This is sci stress, in my opinion. Autonomy is great, but contested zones don't forgive any glitches at all. And when logistics are going to fail, the mission just crumbles. So you could prioritize, whatever I'm going to say. I don't know. I've lost it. Is it Tuesday morning? What's my name?
It is.
Prioritizing robust, flexible logistics autonomy is the real battlefield enabler here.
I think you just accidentally agreed with me. The only way to get that robust, flexible logistics autonomy is to have nailed down the software through the requirements of what it's got to do. So driving and firing are automated, but fortunately, currently, there's no plan to provide an autonomous or unmanned reloading system, so we can at least, keep the computers in check that way.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with the requirements, but it also adds to that with kind of process and workflow optimization. These vehicles have got to be able to adapt in dynamic battlefield needs. So standardized yet flexible processes enabled by robust digital workflows. So critical threat, in other words, ensure you've got smooth integration of modular payloads, you've got autonomous tasks, you've got mission-specific adjustments. So for me, it's that process and workflow optimization that leaves no one guessing in the field. And I will bring in some AI.
Of course.
Of course. Predictive analytics, machine learning is going to make sure you've got smooth execution by flagging bottlenecks in production, any task delays you've got there, or misaligned priorities before they become really critical.